in the Atlantic Ocean at 2:31 a.m. Eastern Time. As a commercial ship sails through the deep sea, they're experiencing radio communication errors, and to make matters worse, there's unidentified ships in their water space, but they decide not to call the Coast Guard. Now, elsewhere on the upper deck, their ship is being infiltrated by unidentified villains. Now, as a rich couple walk the upper deck trying to find a nice place to fuck, they run into the villains that are commandeering the ship, and it doesn't go well. But elsewhere in the captain's quarters, as the villains bust through the door, the crew try to pull their firearms, but it's too late as they're all mowed down. In Gotham City, 8 minutes later, Nightwing and Arsenal are on the roof patrolling, but Nightwing is telling Arsenal no, as Arsenal is trying to convince Nightwing to start a new team of heroes. But he's not necessarily trying to convince Nightwing to start a team, he's more or less trying to convince him to join a team. But Nightwing is apprehensive as the Teen Titans were disbanded after the death of Donna Troy. But Arsenal asks Dick Grayson why they started the Titans to begin with. Dick tells him because they were stupid, but Arsenal asks why else. They created the team to make a difference on their own terms while being something a lot more than sidekicks. But as Dick Grayson refuses to lead any more friends to their deaths, Arsenal tells him what if they were strangers. Arsenal and Nightwing go back and forth as Nightwing wonders who would even be on the team. He tells Arsenal if he's going to be involved, they seriously need to find the right people. But once again, Arsenal is not asking him to start a team, he's asking him to join one. 32 days ago in New Orleans, Louisiana, as several mobsters are shaking down this family man, they get confronted by a young superhero who just happens to be named Thunder. Thunder is able to blow all the mobsters back and give the man a chance to get the hell out of there. Her name is Anissa Pierce, and she is the daughter of Black Lightning. One of the criminals runs up and tries to punch Thunder, but he shatters his fist on her face. As Thunder goes in on these mobsters, one of them tries to backdoor her, but she turns to kick him right in the mouth. One of the mobsters tries to pull a gun on Thunder, but the problem is Thunder can increase her body's density without affecting volume. She can essentially make herself hard as steel and 10 times her natural weight. But Thunder still gets some backup from Arsenal, not that she needed it. Now Thunder is a very young superhero, but nevertheless, Arsenal has come to offer her a place 18 days ago in Metropolis at Cheney's, a bar where all metahumans come to mix it up, good guy or bad. As a lizard man and a vampire argue, they get into a scuffle inside the bar. But as the two men are fighting, they get confronted by the bar's stringent security. Her name is Grace Choi. She's incredibly fucking strong, and she doesn't take any shit. She beats the shit out of the lizard man and the vampire before kicking them both out of the bar. But as she's outside, she runs into Roy, aka Arsenal. Now she's really happy to see Roy as these two go back. But for a second, she thinks Arsenal is here to try to get in her pants. But to her surprise, Arsenal is here to offer her a job. Now she tells him she already has a job, but he tells her this job pays 3 times more. 6 days ago at Star Laboratories, his name is Rex Mason, and he's an adventurer who was exposed to an artifact known as the Orb of Ra. It transformed him and left him with the ability to manipulate his body's molecular chemistry. His name is Metamorpho, and Roy has come to offer him a job. Now Arsenal tells him right now there's a lot of newer heroes on his team and he could use some veterans. But the problem is, after Metamorpho was reborn, he doesn't really remember a whole lot from his past life. He really just knows how to use his powers. But Arsenal tells him that's good enough, and Metamorpho is literally just like, fuck it, let's go. But later that day, on the New York harbor, the Coast Guard try to communicate with the ship that was commandeered earlier. But the ship pulls out the cannons and opens fire on the Coast Guard. Now later that day in Brooklyn, New York, Arsenal takes Nightwing to an old bomb shelter. As he's showing Nightwing around, Nightwing wonders what's the significance of all this, but Arsenal tells him he's bought the place. Arsenal shows him the interior of the bomb shelter that he's completely renovated. Now Nightwing wonders where he got the money for all this, and Arsenal tells him he basically got it from a media conglomerate. But as Nightwing asks what they want in return, Arsenal tells him nothing as they view this as a huge tax write-off. But as the ladies are inside, they're kind of pissed off at Nightwing for not even saying hello. But as two more people enter the compound, Nightwing hops over the table and tosses a batarang. Now as Indigo and Metamorpho walk inside, Nightwing is like, what the fuck is that thing doing here? Arsenal tells him her name is Indigo, but Nightwing yells that thing is the reason that Lilith and Donna Troy are dead. But Arsenal informs Nightwing that they've reprogrammed her at Star Labs. Now Nightwing starts crashing out because he thinks this whole thing is absolutely insane. But Indigo tells him she has no recollection of the previous events of her existence and she wants to prove she's a good guy. Now Nightwing can't believe this shit, but as Nightwing and the rest of the group are arguing, on the news, a big ass ship crashes into Pier 31. They've come from very far away. Their existence is an aberration. Their leader was exposed to an extraterrestrial object that recreated him. His name is Grodd, and he has returned to destroy everything and take over this world. Now, as the heroes look at the news, they're like, fuck, that's an awful lot of monkeys with an awful lot of guns. The heroes agree to put aside their differences, at least for now. Nightwing tells everyone to follow him as the heroes get ready to mobilize. To be continued.